OMG.
Welcome to another episode of Couch Co-op. Of course, yes. As part of the OMG Hour, welcome. It is the week of, September 21st today?
It is September the 21st.
I, of course, am your host, Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane. We're still getting used to how we're recording now. I got to remember what do I say when I introduce it. Splitting the podcast and the video cast and trying to make them two separate things. It's still confusing in my head, Tycko.
And you keep saying the wrong thing because I am Tycko, Mr. Second Place, and you didn't let me say that before you went on your whole diatribe.
Sorry,
so
who are you?
What? Mr. Second Place? Yes, Mr. Second Place. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Let us know by the end of the show if you're sure.
I will. Do we say show number still or not? I can't remember.
Well, not on the YouTube. See, this is what I'm talking about. The whole thing's so different.
There's all these new rules.
That's right, new rules. This is the way we're doing things.
Confuse people
it's confusing me.
Yeah, well, we'll get used to it. I mean, this is the second episode of the new format, so I mean, you give us time. Give us time.
And of course, as luck may have it, Skype went and updated, so now I can't even use XSplit the normal way. It's just causing all sorts of trouble. Now I've got oh my god, I can't have anything on top of Skype, or you'll see it. I will
give you credit though. You did fix the at least the make it so we could actually record today pretty quickly.
Well, exactly. We almost didn't record because I didn't know what to do. It's still really inconvenient. I got everything on one screen. I got my notes. I've got XSplit. I've got everything I'm doing all on one screen now. And Tycko, I don't like it. I don't like it, Tycko.
Listen, I have it on two screens, so I have to glance sideways every once in a while, but it doesn't affect me because you're the one who does all of the magic stuff.
Well, just know, Tycko, that you now have a screen dedicated just to you.
I should. Why wouldn't I?
I can no longer put things on top of you. Anyway, Tycko, how has your week been?
I had a good week,
Let's do some couch co-op.
Okay.
So what kind of things were you doing this week?
Let's see. I watched some TV, just old stuff. We're rewatching.
You don't watch TV, do you?
Yeah, a little bit. We're just rewatching stuff. It's like there's not really anything new. We tend to let a few episodes build up so we can sort of watch on the weekend and go through, binge a little bit. So I've just been rewatching stuff. So we started watching. Do you remember the show Gallivant?
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
So it is a very funny sort of musical / comedy.
It's a musical?
Musical / comedy. Like, think Quest for the Holy Grail. Or Robin Hood Men in Tights sort of style.
Okay.
So we started watching that. It only went 2 seasons, 18 episodes total. We started watching that, and Leah got into it and absolutely loves it because there's Prince and Princess, and she just laughs. I mean, a lot of the jokes are sort of Monty Python style jokes that she does not get, thankfully. But so we've been rewatching that. How I Met Your Mother. We've sort of been rewatching a little bit of that as well. So right now we're sort of in our rewatch stage.
Well, I am watching for the first... Well, years ago, I watched the first season of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Yeah. And I never got past the first season. I think I watched a couple episodes of season 2, and then something else came up. Finally, now that I'm finished watching Rebels, I decided let's go back and watch Clone Wars because they're bringing back Clone Wars for a season 7. It got... Basically, It was been off the air for a few years. And, hey, Brian, thanks for joining us. So I'm going back and I'm finally watching the Clone Wars. I'm on season 3. The weird thing about Clone Wars, and I didn't know this until I'm in season 3, and I'm watching an episode. And in this episode, there is a character who died in season 2. And I'm like, wait a minute. How is he in season 3? And I look it up online. I'm like, why is so-and-so alive in season 3? It turns out Clone Wars was told completely out of order. Like, the fans have gone and actually created a viewing order for the Clone Wars. And funny enough, the Clone Wars movie, like the feature-length movie, is actually the 3rd episode. What? It's not actually the beginning of the story.
See, that's not going to be fun for you because I know how you feel about watching things in order. I mean, even with like you're saying with your Stargate right now, watching them in actually like television release order too.
Here's the funny thing.
That also happy endings messed that up too because they showed their entire third season completely out of order too, and I know how much that bugs you.
Oh, it does because I like continuity. Weird thing though, that one episode. As I'm looking this up and I realize, they're all out of order. I'm thinking, okay, what order do I need to watch them in? And from that point forward, it's in the perfect order already. So it was literally, that was the last episode that was out of order.
So everything that you've already messed up, you're like, I'm going to fix this, and then you get to the thing, it's already done. So the damage has been done.
Damage has already been done, and there is no fixing it at the point I'm in now. It's all straightforward. So
now you got to wait 5 years. You got to wait 5 years for your next rewatch and make sure you do it right.
And make sure I do it in this right order, yeah. So the seasons 1, 2, and half of 3 are kind of interspersed in between each other. They kind of, like there's episodes in season 3 that should have been in season 1, and that kind of thing. Like it was just why did they do that? That doesn't make any sense.
It depends, I guess, on networks. Sometimes when they like, okay, we don't have the rights to this anymore, so we're just going to air it whenever the heck we feel like it. I know that's happened before. It's like, okay, this show's now been canceled. But we're obligated to show the rest of it. So, like 2 episodes a week for the next 6 weeks. I don't care if they're in order.
But this is third season of a 6-season story, and it's not like the season 3 episode would have been written 2 years ago.
But did they jump networks at any point during that?
No.
It's
just weird that they would go and write an episode in season 3 that actually chronologically belongs in season 1.
All right. What I will tell you is I have no idea why.
And a couple other episodes, at the very beginning, there's always sort of a last time on, but it's told the same way like the scroll would at the beginning of the movie, but it's an announcer saying it. The couple times episodes would start out with like a recap of where we are in the story, showing scenes of things that never happened. That we never saw happen, but they're showing these what?
That's the Arrested Development way of this. Last time on Arrested Development, and they show you a bunch of stuff that you never saw.
Exactly, and that's where I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, did I miss an episode? Turns out, nope, I missed nothing.
You missed nothing.
They were showing a last time on and showing scenes that never actually happened. I'm like, I hate that kind of thing. I really do. I mean, Arrested Development made sense because that was the whole humor of it.
It was done as a joke.
Exactly. Sort of yes. Well, they always do that even at the end, next time.
Yeah, next time on, and they'd show some scenes that they had no intention of putting in the next episode, but just sort of like get a little bit of extra story in at the end of the episode.
Yeah. So that's my Clone Wars saga.
It happens. Well, they also announced, I don't know, did you ever watch Veronica Mars?
I loved Veronica Mars.
So Hulu has announced that they are picking up a new season of Veronica Mars.
Really?
Yeah, so they announced that, I believe that was either yesterday or today. Hulu is going to be airing all of the back episodes. So they have the entire catalog to air on their platform, as well as they are going to be funding a new season. No details about it yet, but I was a huge fan. I watched the movie when it came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I backed the movie.
Yeah, big fan of that. So glad to see that we're getting another season of that. I've heard in the past that they were talking about doing a new season with her in Quantico or something like that. So that might be the direction they're going.
Oh, I heard about that. That would be interesting because she's actually becoming an investigator.
Yeah.
How does that affect her current show, The Good Place? Then
I don't think it will affect it at all because they, you can just, do them at different times. I don't know how Hollywood works. I don't know how they do that. I assume that she can just go from one set to the other set and just
maybe. Well, The Good Place is always a it always starts early and ends early. And it's only 13 episodes. I love that show. The Good Place is so good.
Coming back in a week, I think.
Mm-hmm. Next week, 29th, I think, next Friday. So it's a week today. It returns.
So that will be in this spot, maybe next week or the week after. The week after.
Now, game-wise, we've both been playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider, so stick around after Couch Co-op for our review of Tomb Raider. But you've also been playing something else. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so Capcom Beat 'em Up Bundle. This is it is the classic Capcom like Final Fight, and so Final Fight was the one that drew me in. I saw that, I'm like, okay, I want to play this again. So it is basically Final Fight, and then like 6 other Final Fight type clones. So there's one set in feudal Japan. There's one set in the future. I think it's called Captain Commando or something like that. There's one Knights of the Round Table, where it's Arthur and Lancelot and stuff like that. So it's all these side-scrolling beat 'em ups. So there are 6 of them in the bundle. And I have actually gone through and beaten all of them already.
Of course you have, because you're a button presser.
Yeah, I am a button presser, so I've beaten all 6 of these games already. It is a fun little taste of nostalgia there to go back and replay your final fight and games like that.
Cool, awesome. So, going back to entertainment rather than games, of course, this week we saw, and we were very excited. I wondered when this was happening.
Yes.
We finally saw the Captain Marvel trailer.
Yeah, the full trailer, not just a teaser.
Yeah, well, I don't even think there was a teaser.
Was there a teaser? I think there was there
was no teaser for Captain Marvel.
Logo?
No. It was.
Well, then, good thing we have a full trailer.
Yeah, I mean, so the trailer came out, and I've watched it multiple times. I've been really looking forward to this. Of course, it's Marvel's first female superhero as a solo film. Not the first female. Yeah. Obviously, we've got Black Widow, we've got Wasp, and we've got all.
But it's the first standalone where she is the main antagonist.
Yeah, the main hero is a woman, and boy, does this ever look good.
Yeah, I love how they set right off the bat with the trailer. This is not now, this is in the past. They do that by starting it in a blockbuster video.
Blockbuster video.
So you know automatically,
yes,
this is not now.
This takes place in the 90s. This actually takes place before Iron Man, before all the MCU ever started is when this takes place. Yeah. And let me tell you, the Samuel L. Jackson and the Coulson, they've made them look like 20 years younger.
They're Disney's anti-aging formula for film. And we've seen this with Kirk Douglas in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
We saw it with Robert Downey Jr. in
Spider-Man?
Civil War.
Was it Civil War?
It was Civil War.
Yeah. But absolutely fantastic how they do it. Because you did not look at that going, man, that's CG. You don't see that. No, that's just...
It looks good.
A young Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah. Of course, it's not near... It's better than the young Princess Leia in Rogue One.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
There was just something really strange about her at the end there. Even though she was only on the screen for all of 5 seconds.
It felt a little weird, but this feels natural. I don't know.
And I love the scene right here at the end where it shows her building up her power. I am so excited for Captain Marvel.
This I'm looking forward to quite a bit. It looks great. Character looks great. Introducing the Skrulls, from what I understand.
Yeah, the Skrull-Kree War.
Yeah,
I think is what it's going to tell. So. Yeah,
so this I'm looking forward to, and obviously this will lead into Avengers 29, whatever number we're on.
Now, is it Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy? He's in it again. Now, is he a Kree or is he Skrull? Do you remember?
Kree.
He's Kree.
The Skrull are the green-faced ones that have like the weird shaped face, sort of like Thanos.
So they're the bad guys then. So Ronan the Accuser is essentially, if you're talking good guys, bad guys, Ronan the Accuser is actually a good guy? I mean, Ronan the Accuser is a radical. So he becomes
it depends on what
guy.
you consider. I mean, you're talking about the race in general.
Yes.
As opposed to an individual. I mean, he could just, like, the Kree could be not too bad, and he's just a big jerk.
Captain Marvel fights on one side, and I think she fights on the side of the Kree.
Yes, the Skrulls are the bad.
They're the ones that look like elves, the pointy ears.
Pointy ears and like the Thanos like finger chin.
Yeah, that's right. The wrinkle chin. That's
Yeah.
right. I don't know a whole lot about that. I mean, my first introduction to them was Ronan the Accuser in Guardians of the Galaxy, and of course, the Kree were mentioned a lot in the first season of, I think it was first season or second season of Agents of Shield. Because that's where the Inhumans. They're the ones who created the Inhumans years and years ago. It was an experiment on humans to create superhumans. So yeah, I mean, that's my only familiarity with them. So it'll be interesting to see more about them in Captain Marvel, and how I'm actually really more excited to see how that's gonna feed directly into Avengers 4.
Yeah, because the end of that, I'm guessing the end of that, we'll see some sort of handoff of the pager or something like that.
Yeah, but somehow it's got to fit into,
Yeah.
I don't know how she's going to feature in Avengers 4. I mean, we saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I think there's a lot of speculation into how Ant-Man will come into it, being in the quantum realm. A lot of people are speculating that the quantum realm will actually play a big part in freeing the people who were, I guess...
Snapped.
I guess snapped. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen... I guess everybody knows it by now, but...
If you don't and you have the internet and you're watching this, there's other problem. Yeah, you've already been spoiled.
Exactly. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. I really enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, I'm excited for every movie that comes out.
You know what? I actually particularly enjoy the lesser known movies more than your big Avengers and stuff like that. I really enjoyed like your Doctor Strange, the First Guardians, like these characters that you really don't have as much of an understanding of because maybe you haven't read that particular comic growing up or something like that. So when they take a character that you're not as used to and they have an opportunity to tell that story, I much prefer those movies actually.
So then you're gonna like Captain Marvel because
I will love Captain Marvel.
This edition and I've been doing a lot of research on Captain Marvel. I want to understand who she is, the history of them. I do this with a lot of the Marvel movies for characters I don't know. I look up the history and where they came from. Funny enough, Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, who we'll see in the movie, her character and this iteration of her as Captain Marvel, Tycko, she's only been around since 2012. She wasn't even around when the MCU started as a hero in the comic books. Carol Danvers was around as a character, but she was always sort of the supporting, recurring character. She was an Air Force pilot. And Marvel, who was a Kree warrior, he was the original Captain Marvel.
Right, yes.
Back in the 60s. And Carol Danvers was sort of a backup character. But this particular Captain Marvel, as she is today, has only been around since 2012. I find that very, very interesting that she is now poised to become like the new leader going forward, the way Iron Man has been the leader since the beginning.
Yeah. Do you think that the name Danvers is why in the Supergirl TV show that was selected as her last name?
I don't know. That's a good question. I have no idea. I wondered the same thing when I found out her name was Carol Danvers. And now, of course, you've got Kara Danvers as Supergirl, right? That's on the DC side. The other interesting thing is, for those of you who don't know, but Captain Marvel, the only reason Captain Marvel as a name exists is because Fawcett Comics, back in the 60s, created a character called Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
But Marvel Comics wanted to copyright the name Marvel, so they very quickly created their own Captain Marvel and copyrighted it so that Fawcett Comics couldn't use it, right?
Yeah. And
interesting thing about Fawcett Comic was then bought by DC Comics, who then turned their Captain Marvel into Shazam.
Right, which is another movie.
Which is another movie coming out, I think, pretty much at the exact same time as Captain Marvel next year.
Yeah. Which I'm also excited about that one.
I am too. We talked about that last week, but it's just funny how essentially Shazam was originally Captain Marvel, and both movies come out at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really interesting read to go and read the history of Captain Marvel and why Marvel created this Captain Marvel character just to copyright the name and prevent Fawcett Comics from using the name Marvel.
Yeah.
You know, they basically forced this character into their curriculum just to keep the copyright.
Yeah, and we've seen that before with like movie studios who've had rights to movies and stuff like that.
Sony with Spider-Man, they pump out the movies just so they can keep the license.
Yeah,
and of course then you end up getting like what looks like a piece of garbage, the new upcoming Venom.
Yeah, and the last Fantastic Four movie.
And
the Fantastic Four movie before that, and the Fantastic Four movie before that.
Well, I think the original Fantastic Four was okay. Rise of the Silver Surfer wasn't all that great, and then the remake 2 years ago wasn't great.
When you say original, that's not even original. The original, I don't even know when it was done, but there was the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie that was done back.
Oh.
That was like just absolute garbage. It was done for the same thing, same reason.
I'm talking modern age movies, not stuff.
But it was the same reason though. There's a Captain America movie that was done for that, and a Punisher movie done for those reasons as well.
I know. There's always been garbage movies created just to keep licenses and copyrights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else interesting happened this week that you wanna that kind of piques your interest?
Well, I mean, the Telltale news today, actually.
Oh, this is like breaking news. I saw this about an hour before we recorded.
Yeah, I mean, it is very unfortunate, but it looks like Telltale Games is closing their doors. They have laid off everybody, but apparently 25 people have been laid off from Telltale. The 25 people are still on for contractual obligations to finish out Walking Dead season 4, which they have to do, and that's it. But they
Stranger Things canceled. Not happening. Wolf Among Us 2 not happening. This, in my opinion, comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like where does this all of a sudden, like, what? We never knew there were problems with the studio. There
was some indications that they'd made some layoffs and stuff like that, but no indications that of a studio closure like this. And particularly when they're announcing, Wolf Among Us 2 and the Stranger Things license, I am really disappointed because I absolutely love the Telltale games.
Yeah, they're all so well done.
They're so well done. The storytelling in them is absolutely fantastic. I mean, the new Walking Dead, I haven't played yet, but I've heard such good things about the how that current season is going. Just absolutely, disappointed that we're not going to see. Like, I loved Wolf Among Us. Very disappointed that we're not going to see that. That continue. I'm not sure what this will mean if this style of game, if somebody else can pick up the licenses or can continue on with stuff. I'm not sure. We see this happen in studio closures all the time, where the assets are sold off and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what will happen with that. But this is just it's a very disappointing news for the gamer community as a whole.
I agreed. I mean, The Wolf Among Us, I was super excited for part 2 because the first one was it was my introduction to the Fables comic series, but it was also, in my opinion, one of the games that really challenged your decisions.
Yeah.
Like, it really gave you decisions that, like, wait, if I do this, this is going to happen. Or if I do this, which way? Yeah. It really pulled you. It was almost like a BioWare decision.
Yeah. But you had, again, very limited time to make those decisions. The story was going on as you went through it. And instantly regretting your decisions sometimes too. It's like, I'm gonna say this, or you're so torn that it just goes to silence because you didn't pick an option because you're so torn between the two and you didn't pick in time, and then like something, like the character's like, oh, they'll remember that, and you're like, oh man.
Well, there was
I feel like garbage now.
Well, but there were actually decisions that if you did one thing, somebody would die.
Yeah.
Or if you did the other, someone else would die. Right, yep. Which changes the way the story unfolds,
and the sequels too, because they've carried that over. If you linked up your account and then you played the second season of Walking Dead, for example, it's like, well, if you had done this decision in the first one, this character's dead and will not be a part of your story.
Exactly. Like, they did that stuff so well, and it just, in my opinion, this comes out of nowhere. This is just, wait, what? Telltale Games is closing? What are you talking about? How's that even possible after all of these games they've gotten, all these licenses? I mean, wow.
How does one of the big guys not just go in there and say, we'll pay for this, we'll buy this, this is now an exclusive Sony or an exclusive Microsoft or exclusive Switch?
Oh, somebody will. Who was it that likes to pick up all the old stuff?
THQ.
THQ will just swoop in and grab everything. Wait, no. Is it THQ?
THQ, they got Darksiders, Kingdoms of Amalur.
Yeah.
They just picked up was it Alone in the Dark and another one, Act of War.
Oh,
that they just acquired last week.
I can't wait to find out what they're doing with Kingdom of Amalur.
I want a remaster and a sequel and a prequel, and an iPhone game. Why not?
And a mobile
experience.
You know what? Give me a Last Man Standing. Give me a PUBG style game in Kingdoms of Amalur. Why don't you give me a first person shooter?
Yep. A backpack. I need a backpack. I need socks. I need socks with the logo on them.
I need a movie. Give me a movie, live action movie. The book series. I mean, it was. That's not much to ask for, is it?
No, I mean it was already written by R.A. Salvatore.
Yes.
Give us that too. Give us the book series that he, from his thousands of pages of world that he built.
This was an original story by him. This is not based on novels.
Yeah, but he created a world.
But he needs to write the novels now.
Make the novels. Yeah. I believe it was. I think Todd McFarlane was involved in the character art.
Todd McFarlane did all the artwork. Yes.
Yeah, so let's get some figurines going.
Let's throw Spawn in there. I mean, why not?
Why not? Kurt Schilling would own the company originally, so let's make a baseball game out of this.
Yeah, sure.
Kingdoms
of Amalur baseball sounds good to me.
I mean, with the number of kart racing games that I've seen coming out lately, I would not be surprised that something like that did pop up.
We got a really bad stream tonight, Tycko.
Yeah, it's a little laggy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
I blame Brian. Brian is clearly the problem.
Obviously.
Yep.
So I'm not quite sure what's going on. I'm looking at the stats here, and it almost looks like it just started recording from scratch.
That's weird.
Which is really weird. Not quite sure what's going on, but we're gonna go. We're
gonna keep going.
We're already in by 25 minutes or so. We got another 10 minutes left to go. We want to talk about, we've got something fun, but so of course all the craze the last couple of years by Nintendo has been their minis.
Yes,
Nintendo has come out with two minis,
Super NES,
and I don't know if the GameCube is coming.
Wasn't there a Sega Master System announced?
Oh, that's right. Sega's coming out with... Well, PlayStation has announced a PlayStation Classic Mini, which is a PlayStation 1, about the same size as a Nintendo NES Mini. It's going to have 20 games packed on it.
Final Fantasy VII was announced as one of those.
See, here's my issue with this, Tycko. Super Nintendo and Nintendo... Those are great things to have because those are classic games you can't get anywhere but Nintendo.
Correct.
Okay. PlayStation, however, Final Fantasy VII you can get on every device that exists.
Yeah, okay. and a remastered version of it coming soon too.
Exactly. My thought is like I don't care about PlayStation 1 Mini because most of those games have already been remastered, brought out on other systems or whatever.
Yeah.
You're right? They're not... I don't know. They just like... This just doesn't feel the same than as something that's Nintendo, which is only playable on a Nintendo.
Yeah. Like Sony will do... Sony will do what Nintendo did. They will have limited stock. It'll be hard to find. It'll be, oh my god, I actually got one. $130 is nothing because I actually found one in a store somewhere. And people will buy them. They'll keep the stock low. It'll be the exact same thing that you saw with the NES and the SNES minis.
I know it's going to be $100 US, so it'll be like $130 Canadian or something.
Yep, they already announced 129 Canadian.
Yeah, right. So I was right, $130 Canadian.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know what to think of it. I'm not as excited about that as I was the Nintendo stuff.
No, and
I really don't care.
No, I think it's partially because we've already this will be the fourth one announced of these, so it's less. It's less intriguing. Sony has like the titles Final Fantasy VII, cool title, but I'm going to be able to download that for
I'm going to get the remaster, like the huge remaster of that, where it's like a next-gen game.
Yeah.
If that actually ever comes. Let's put that stipulation in.
But you'll be able to play it on like as a digital download on your Switch, on your PlayStation, and on your Xbox as it is. So you don't need to spend $130 to get this. And the other titles, Sony doesn't have a ton of titles that really make me go, wow, I really have to play that. I can't think of anything other than, like you were saying, like something coming at PlayStation 1. I'm trying to think of what might be on there.
Crash Bandicoot.
Bandicoot's already out. Bandicoot's already out on
that's
the
what
thing.
I'm saying.
Spyro already out.
Wipeout, you can get newer versions of Wipeout.
Yeah.
Like, the original Resident Evil was on PlayStation 1. I mean, you can get that anywhere.
Yeah. Like these, like it's not titles that make me go, man, this is the only place I can go. I can get most of these things I can actually play on my Xbox.
Right. Exactly.
You know, an updated version of it. So I don't know. I'm less excited about the PlayStation. And really, for $130, I can build an emulator, no problem. On
PlayStation. Like, even on PlayStation 3, you could download PS1 classic games onto your PS3. I don't know if you can still do that now, or even onto your Vita, right? Your Vita, which Sony, I believe, just announced they're going to stop making in Japan. So Vita's coming to an end. But even on the Vita, you can download Final Fantasy VII PlayStation 1 classic already.
Yep.
So what is the point of a PlayStation 1 Mini or Classic Mini?
It's clearly exactly that. It's a cash grab. It's a cash grab. It's going to be on the shelf. You're going to see 3 or 4 of them. There's going to be 400 mothers waiting outside EB Games.
Yeah.
Thank God I don't work at EB Games anymore. That would be horrible.
So on that, we figured, since everybody's getting in on the Mini thing, there's no reason why we can't do it either. So
no, we have to.
We have to. It's obviously we need to do it too. So we are officially announcing the OMG Hour Mini coming this December. Make sure you pre-order now. Get your pre-orders in for this. We've got a little preview of what that is. Basically, we're going to take our entire show, and it's going to be 5 minutes long. Here's a little preview of what you can expect from
spoilers
from the OMG Hour Mini. Did you catch all that? You can expect that come January. Make sure you get your pre-orders in now.
Yep, I'm going to be the
OMG Hour Mini. That's it.
The first mini podcast.
Full length. Actually, it's the full length mini podcast.
Yes.
Yes.
The entire show for those people who don't have quite the full hour to give us. We've got the mini version coming.
Exactly. There you go. We'll take our full hour and condense it to 5 minutes for you.
Yep.
So you want one more time? Should we play that one more time? One more preview? Here we go. One more time. There you go. Excellent. I'm glad we're in on the deal there, Tycko.
Yeah, we got innovators.
This is
innovators.
Right there. Excellent. Yep. All right. Let me check how we're doing here, Tycko. We're only about 30 minutes, but that's okay. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything we want to talk about today.
Yeah, it was an eventful but short week.
I've been finding that a lot lately. I don't know about you. This is, for those of you who don't understand why we started talking more than just video games, I have found in the last year or so that video gaming news tends to be really boring.
Yeah,
nothing exciting going on
for possibly weeks on end too.
Oh yeah, exactly. So we figure, well, let's talk about more than just video games. But I mean, at the same time, we're geeks. That's just what we do.
We want to talk about more than just video games as well. I think that's part of it too. We're excited because often when we either before or when we finish a show, we would have these conversations already as it was.
That's right. After the show,
we're just folding them into the show now too. Like we would have their conversations about movie trailers and other stuff like that.
Oh, did you watch this show? What do you think? And we would actually talk about it and analyze it, and what we liked, what we didn't like.
Yeah, so we're just folding that in here. I also like with the new format too. It does give us the ability to talk about breaking news today. We can have a discussion about that. Where it used to be sort of in the past with the structure of the show, we maybe wouldn't be able to get a full full conversation about something about the Telltale news today.
Yeah. Well, we would try, but we always tried to cram everything in, and that's I wanted to get away from having to cram stuff, a little more natural, free flowing. One thing I forgot to mention last week, we talked about pop figures.
Yes,
and of course, a friend of the show, Captain Junkie, sent me a link. Was it Wednesday, the 19th, which is the day my eldest daughter, Aria, turned 21, so happy birthday, Aria. 21 years old in my house. Anyway,
jeez, Sean, that makes you really old, by the way. You're really old.
I am totally old. So that day, EB had a deal on pop figures. Buy 4 pop figures that are $9.99 or below, 4 of them for $20. So I got 4 new pop figures on Wednesday.
That's a good deal.
Aria got 2, which were actually already marked down to $5 each. So that was a good deal as well. So we essentially got 6 pop figures for the equivalent of $5 each. I got three new Star Wars ones. I got DJ. I got Vice Admiral Holdo, complete with her funky purple hair. I got Captain Cassian Andor from Rogue One, and I've got Sydney Bristow from Alias, one of my favorite TV shows. Sydney Bristow as a schoolgirl.
Cool.
I had originally bought Sydney as a redhead because, redhead. Yeah. I have a thing for redheads. My whole family are redheads. My wife and daughters are all redheads. But you know what? If it was part of the deal, I'm picking up another Alias one, sure.
Yeah, may as well.
Alias is why I love Jennifer Garner. It's just something about Jennifer Garner. I've loved her since I first saw her in Alias, and I love that show. So anytime I get a chance to see Jennifer Garner, I'm in.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
Yeah.
Fun show.
Yeah, that is. All right. Well, that is pretty much it for Couch Co-op. Thanks for watching this episode. Of course, stay tuned. We're going to talk about, when we get back, we'll try to fix the stream. There's something going on with it. But when we come back tonight, stick around. We're going to talk about, not Rise. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the 3rd game in the new Tomb Raider series, the final chapter in Lara's beginnings. So be sure to stick around for that. Thanks for joining us. Of course, I am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zientane, and this is Tycko, Mr. Second Place.
Mr. Second Place.
Yes, so thanks for joining us. We'll be back with Couch Co-op next week.
Bye, guys.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.